So yeah, we're Eardrum. When we got picked up by the Leaf label, we liked what we put together. It was a project that I was doing with Lou in the studio, where we had mostly African percussion, which we were multi-tracking, and there wasn't actually a band. So the band came afterwards, and then the band has actually completely taken over. Now it's about the people who are in the band, whereas originally it wasn't like that. So now it's very much all these wonderful individuals and their own skills that makes the band, yeah.
There's a lot of Fuji influences, if nobody's that familiar with Fuji music.
Yeah, Fuji is from Nigeria, which is where Dio and myself are from. Which is like a very fast talking drum music, which is born out of another kind of music called Akala, which is a slower, yeah, which is actually Islamic influenced music. We're actually linking that in with some of the Punjabi Bhangra music as well, in terms of our rhythm section, and also obviously the drum kit with its heavy jazz and African influence, because Lou's obviously studied African drumming as well. So rhythmically, I don't think it's been done before in the way that we're doing it. In terms of the dialogue with the melodic instruments, then it's more closer to a jazz influence.
I'm a classically trained double-up player. I teach as well. And basically I came across Richard and I listened to his sounds, and I think we could have some kind of connection, because I listened to some of his rhythmic patterns and I thought there could be some unison here. So what I did was I went back and I researched on sort of my own rhythmic patterns and see what I can do with it. A lot of the music now, as he's quite rightly said, is Punjabi orientated, but what I've done is these patterns are original patterns that I've played in my spiritual music back home and back here. I'm like an acting priest, because music's a huge part in my culture too. I play pretty much every day at the Gurdwara in Hounslow. So the patterns I play there, I kind of interlink with the African fusion here, and I try and give it a bit of a twist and see what it sounds like, maybe sped up, slowed down. The rhythms these guys are playing, I really appreciate it, because the thing is, it's rhythms I know, and it's somewhat new to them and somewhat not new to them, because they've played with different tabla players. The thing what I bring is different. There's a lot more energy, a lot more power, a lot more dynamics, and what I enjoy the most is I can play freely. When I play spiritually in the Sikh temple, for instance, it's all very structured. It's the same rhythms, but they're very much structured, and they're very much, tempo is always controlled.
Different and quite strange in a lot of ways, but because it has so many elements to it that I think are quite appealing to a lot of people. It's got the rhythmic element to it, it's got a quite broad sonic element to it. So for me, and I think for the rest of the people in the band, it's quite surprising that we do gigs and the reaction that we get is really positive and quite broad. It's not like you've got kind of chin-scratching jazzers coming up and going, that's great. It seems to really appeal to a lot of different people. So hopefully what would happen is that we could appeal to people that are really into jazz music and experimental music, and then people that are into dance music, late night parties and having a good time, and that would be great.